What's poppin', man? This your boy Tay, back at y'all again with another video, man. Peace, love, and abundance to everybody watching right now. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. If you want to support the channel, I have some courses available, and I have a Retain Gang community that you can join if you want to self-improve. So I'll leave my links in my description for you guys. But a lot of you guys chose to practice semen retention because your soul wanted to wake up. It was your alarm clock. It was your catalyst, you know? And you might not think so. You might not think of it that deep. But I'm gonna tell you like this. When I first went through my spiritual awakening, these were all of the things that led to me being who I am today. Right? I had this urge to change and better myself and become the best version of who I need to be spiritually, mentally, physically. Right? So just like you guys, I was curious. I started doing my research and I came across sexual transmutation, which led me to semen retention. So it wasn't like I did this on purpose. No, it was breadcrumbs that led me so that I can become, I could evolve, I could blossom into who I needed to be today. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are going through that same journey. You know, I've noticed with a lot of guys, when you get on this journey for a while, you become more spiritual. You become more self-aware. You start to change the way you see the world. Your perspective is new, it's different. You know what I'm saying? I've noticed that it's a common theme within guys who practice semen retention. It changes you. And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, I've tried to go back to my old ways. I've tried to be quote unquote normal. And my soul would always create chaos around me with those things I was trying to do because I was going the wrong way. That's not meant for you anymore. That life is gone. You rose above all that. That's not who you are anymore. You see, so your soul will light a fire around you anytime you try to go back to your old ways. This is why a lot of times you guys experience chaos in your life or things don't work out for you because it's not meant to. Why relationships don't work out for you because it's not meant to anymore. You got to be at peace with letting things die off, with letting people, places, and things go its separate way. Right? This is a hard lesson I had to learn. You know, sometimes you want things to work out with people. You want things to work out, your life to work out a certain way, your goals. And you will do everything in your power to make that happen, even though you're facing so much resistance. Right? And I had to take a step back and say, you know what? Maybe this resistance is happening for a reason. I've been trying and it's not working out. Maybe I need to take a step back and go another way because this isn't meant for me. So a lot of you guys get on retention and you start realizing that you can't go back to sleep. You can't go back to your old ways. It's not working out for you anymore. You know, and I see people all the time try to go back because they're afraid of where they're at right now. They don't know how to deal with the information that they're gaining, the light codes they're getting, right? Change can be uncomfortable. Change can be scary. But see, there is no going back. We here now, move forward, make the best of it. Because going back to the past will never serve you. I don't care if you're awake or not. Going back to your past is going backwards. You're devolving. Your soul wants to grow. It wants to experience new things. It wants to learn new things. And it can't do that by going back to old experiences. You've already did that, right? You already graduated from elementary school. Why do you want to go back? You want to go back to elementary school and do your timetables and stand in a single file line to go to class, wait for the bell to ring? That's what y'all want to do? Right, you don't want to do that anymore because you've already evolved past that. So the same thing in your life. You already learned certain lessons. You already experienced certain things that was meant for you to gain wisdom. But now it's time to move on and experience something new. You see? So don't be afraid. Look, everything that's happening to you is already been done. It's already happened before. Every reality that exists that you can think of has already happened. You just haven't experienced it yet. That's it. But based on your choices, you can choose to experience whatever you want. It's your choice. And a lot of times you guys are facing resistance because that's your protection. You have a spiritual team around you that's creating these blocks, that's creating this resistance so that you don't go the wrong way. You don't choose the wrong reality. No, you came back here for a purpose, for a reason. So there's a certain timeline you have to follow in order for you to complete your mission. See what I'm saying? Because if you decide to do anything else, it's going to bump you into a timeline that's going to be nothing but a distraction for you or destructive. All right? So, guys, this journey is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. It's for warriors. This is why every man can't do this. This is why sometimes you get in these comments and you see guys argue you down about how retention has no purpose. You should release your seed. You should be frivolous and just be destructive with yourself. You shouldn't be responsible. Go have fun. Go do what you want to do. There's no consequences to it. Right? Because they haven't waken up yet. They don't understand it's not just about women. It's not just about sex. You got to rise above that frequency. Nothing wrong with it, but there's levels to this. And when you awaken spiritually, you'll start to understand this. You'll start to know yourself. And when you know yourself, you start to do better for yourself. I realized all these years, man, I was just unaliving myself by making dumb decisions, by not knowing who I am and what power I have within me. It's bigger than you just want to have sex and pleasure yourself. At what cost? Because to me, a man will never destroy himself for pleasure. A man will never lack his principles and his morals to receive some pleasure or some instant gratification. What type of man is you? You decide to have a family one day. Where are you teaching your kids? You gonna teach your kids to choose pleasure over responsibilities? Choose pleasure over his purpose? So we really gotta wake up and we gotta start analyzing, what are we doing with our lives? What type of energy are you putting out there? What legacy are you leaving? Your purpose is your legacy. Who you are naturally, what you're meant to do while you're here. This is why I'm on this journey, because it led me to my purpose. Because I tell you guys, when I was working my job, living a regular life and paying bills and thinking nothing of anything else, I was miserable because my soul was telling me there's more to life. There's more to your life than this. Okay? This is not going to make you happy because it's not real. Yeah, we got to survive and live in this world. But at the same time, you are here temporarily for a mission, for a reason. All right? And we get caught up in the mundane things. And we start to lose sight of ourselves, of our mission. You see? This journey will wake you up and make you realize there's a bigger purpose for you. And I'm not just talking, man, I'm talking from experience because I went through all this. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what this was for. The changes I was going through, man, I was terrified. Because for one, I didn't have anybody to explain to me what was going on. And two, I started learning the truth. I started reprogramming my mind. So everything I thought, I was supposed to take serious, I just started looking at it like it was a joke. But one thing that's not a joke is the way you feel about yourself. What's not a joke is you finding out what you can do, what you can leave on this plane to help somebody else wake up, to help them to evolve and find themselves. Because this world is all about the experience with other people and other souls and us, coming together and sharing our knowledge. The money and all that stuff, it don't matter to a certain degree. It doesn't. Right? My grandmother, when she was, alive, RIP, she used to tell me all the time it was things she wished she would have done when she was younger. And not one time did she ever say, I wish I had more money. I wish I would have, bought this or bought that. It was always experiences. Wishing she had more time to do things, to experience certain things, to travel or what the case might be, to learn something new. That's what she told me. And you guys, you're going to get to a certain point where you start to understand, like, money and all this material stuff, it don't matter. Right? Time is what matters. Your energy is what matters. Connections and experience with people is what matters. And this is what you learn on retention. It connects you back to the planet. It connects you to everything around you. I told you guys when I first got on my journey, man, I could feel the electrical currents from the computer at my job. The lights. I could feel the current running down my spine. Scared the hell out of me. But I understand now I was connected to the energy. I could feel it. That's how you're supposed to be. It's just I was numb and dumb, right? Numb and dumb. I was asleep. So I didn't understand that the currency, the energy is everywhere around us. And we're connected to everything around us. I didn't understand that. But now I do. That was just me going back to my default self. You see? We do this journey because it's bigger than just women. Women is a big part of it, because we need the feminine energy. You want to find a good partner. But it's not just on that level, man. You got to rise above it. You got to look at it from a bird's eye view, right? You got to look at each level and how important each level is. Some guys only do it for the women attraction, right? But at some point, you got to rise above that level, because what happens is I see guys make videos saying, retention, it doesn't matter after a certain point. It's useless after a certain point. You don't get no more benefits. No, you get benefits from it. It's just that you're only on one level. So once you've completed that one level, you stay there. You put a ceiling, you put a cap over yourself, right? When you got to rise above and go to the next level. I've been doing this for so many years now, and I've been changing constantly. I've been shifting constantly. And I'm still going through changes. I'm still going through shifts. You got to know who you are. You have to make sure you solidify why you're doing this journey. Because we can forget sometimes, as time goes on, we can forget why we're doing this. What's the reason why we're doing this? You see what I'm saying? And you always got to come back and ground yourself, recenter yourself. Build that foundation back up so you remember, oh, okay, yeah, my purpose is this. I need to do this. I need to get this done. We get distracted. We all do. But I'm going to tell you how easy it is to get on your purpose. Your purpose is just you being your authentic self, your true self, right? A lot of times things don't work out for us too. And we try to go back to our old life because that's not your authentic self. You was playing a character. You were peer pressured to be that person because society told you that. That's who you need to be accepted. But when you start to wake up, you started becoming your own person, and people don't accept you anymore. Society doesn't accept you as a whole anymore. So you feel outcasted, and you want to go back and get that validation again. Nah, Playboy, it's not like that anymore. This is your wilderness season, right? The Most High is putting you up in the wilderness by yourself so that you can obtain these light codes and become your own man. You see? So you're not going back to that anymore. You're evolving into who you need to be, which is your authentic self. Your authentic self, when you are aligned with that, everything else that you need and want is going to come to you. It's going to be abundant, right, in its service. Everything that you need, everything that you want, it's going to flow to you easily, freely. You see? So get on your purpose, guys. Be authentic to yourself. And I promise you, everything's going to work out for you. Right? You're going to have a life. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but you're going to have a life where you don't have to strain yourself, stress out about anything else, bills, money, none of that, because you're going to have everything that you need. You will always have it when you're being true to yourself. You're aligned with who you need to be. You're going to be taken care of. All right? So with that being said, guys, I hope this can help you out. Y'all let me know in the comment section what you thought about this video. I do one-on-one consultations as well. So if you need to speak with me, I'll leave my links in my description. That being said, you have a beautiful day, and I'm out. Peace.